Welcome to a journey unlike any other, a journey into the heart of how we think, feel, and act with money. This isn't just another finance book. It's a map to treasure, but not the kind you might expect. Here, the treasure is wisdom, the kind that can change your life. Imagine understanding money in a way that feels like a light bulb moment. Every chapter, that's what we're aiming for. We'll explore why a billionaire can feel broke, how a humble saver can secretly be richer than their spendthrift neighbor, and the invisible forces that drive our financial decisions. This book is your invitation to think about money in a way that's as refreshing as it is enlightening. You'll discover secrets hidden in plain sight and learn strategies that might just transform your financial future. Ready to see money through a new lens? Let's dive in and uncover the psychology of money piece by piece. Your view of wealth and success is about to get a whole lot more interesting. Chapter 1. Wealth is what you don't see. Did you know that real wealth is invisible? It's a fascinating concept. It's not the flashy cars or the giant mansions that define true wealth. In fact, Morgan Housel, in The Psychology of Money, tells us that wealth is the savings and investments you don't see. It's money saved, not spent. This idea flips our usual understanding of wealth on its head. Imagine someone driving a modest car, but with a hefty investment portfolio. That's wealth. Spending money to show people how much money you have is the fastest way to have less money. This quote from the book is a game changer. It reminds us that the appearance of wealth often comes at the expense of actual financial security. Interestingly, the wealthiest individuals often don't look the part. They're the ones who understand the power of saving and investing quietly, letting their wealth grow out of sight. Chapter 2. Saving is more important than earning. Here's a truth bomb. Saving is crucial, sometimes even more than how much you earn. It's not about how much comes in, but how much stays with you. The book highlights a simple yet profound formula. Income, savings, and expenses. This approach ensures that saving takes precedence, not what's left after expenses. An interesting fact to ponder. Americans saved only 7.6% of their disposable income in 2019. Yet during times of uncertainty, like the early months of the pandemic, the saving rate soared to 33.7%. This statistic underscores our capacity to save more under the right circumstances. Housel advises, don't just save money. Save for your freedom. Saving is not merely about accumulating money. It's about building a bridge to financial freedom. It's about having the liberty to make choices that align with your values and aspirations, not your paycheck. Chapter 3. Luck and risk. Luck and risk are two sides of the same coin, yet we often acknowledge only one while ignoring the other. Housel provides a compelling perspective. Luck and risk are both the reality that every outcome in life is guided by forces other than individual effort. The stories of financial success and failure are incomplete without recognizing the role of sheer luck and unanticipated risk. For instance, consider the dot-com bubble or the 2008 financial crisis. Many fortunes were made and lost, not necessarily due to skill or lack thereof, but often because of timing and circumstances beyond one's control. The takeaway: be careful when attributing success to skill and failure to luck. Chapter 4. Compounding, the eighth wonder. Albert Einstein famously called compound interest the eighth wonder of the world, stating, "He who understands it earns it. He who doesn't pays it." This principle is a cornerstone of building wealth, yet it's often misunderstood or overlooked. Compounding isn't just about money growing over time. It's about giving your investments the time they need to grow. A small amount saved today can turn into a substantial sum over decades, not through magic, but through the power of compounding. Consider this. If you invest $100 a month from age 25 to 65 at a 7% annual return, you'll end up with over $264,000. But start at 35 and that number drops to about $122,000. That's the power of compounding in action. The key lesson: start early. It's not just about how much you invest, it's about how long those investments can grow. Chapter 5. Getting wealthy versus staying wealthy. Here's a thought that might surprise you. Getting wealthy and staying wealthy are two different skills. The former requires taking risks and making the most of opportunities. The latter, however, demands prudence, saving, and a keen awareness of risk. To get wealth, you need to take risks. To keep wealth, you need to avoid losses. This dichotomy is at the heart of financial planning. It's not enough to accumulate wealth. You must also protect it. One of the most compelling stories Housel shares is about Warren Buffett's success. While Buffett is known for his investment acumen, a significant part of his wealth comes from two key practices: reinvesting profits and avoiding debt. These practices aren't about growing wealth, but preserving it. They underscore the importance of patience, discipline, and a long-term perspective in financial success. Chapter 6, Tails You Win. The stock market is a prime example of a tail-driven phenomenon, where a small number of stocks drive most of the market's returns. This concept can be counterintuitive, but it's critical for investors to understand. A few big winners carry the performance of the entire market. Youll notes, highlighting that success in investing often comes from a few choices that pay off big time. This chapter encourages us to focus on the long game, recognizing that while not every investment will be a winner, a portfolio can succeed spectacularly with just a few strong performers. It's a reminder that in the world of investing, and indeed in many areas of life, outliers make the difference. The strategy then is not to try to win every time, but to be positioned so that when wins come, they can be transformative. Chapter 7, Freedom, Money's Greatest Gift. The true value of money, as Morgan Housel puts it, lies in its ability to offer freedom, not just to purchase goods or services. This freedom is the ability to make choices that make you happy and secure, without being constrained by financial obligations. It's about achieving a level of financial independence where you can afford to say no to things that don't align with your values or well-being. The highest form of wealth is the ability to wake up every morning and say, "I can do whatever I want today." This profound statement captures the essence of what it means to be truly wealthy. Financial freedom doesn't necessarily mean owning a mansion or driving a luxury car. It's about having control over your time and choices. For instance, being able to take a lower-paying job that you love over a higher-paying job that you loathe is a luxury that money can buy. It's about saving not just for the sake of saving, but to eventually reach a point where you're no longer strictly governed by financial considerations in your life decisions. Chapter 8, The Man in the Car Paradox. This chapter challenges the common perception of wealth and success. Housel uses the man in the car paradox to illustrate how society often misinterprets outward signs of wealth as success. The paradox lies in the fact that when we see someone driving an expensive car, we tend to admire the car rather than the person. Yet true financial wisdom suggests that the decision to spend significant money on a depreciating asset might not be financially savvy. The key takeaway is that the decisions that lead to real wealth are not always visible because they involve saving and investing rather than spending. This insight encourages us to redefine our perceptions of success and wealth. It's not about the material possessions one accumulates, but about the financial prudence and discipline one practices. The most impressive displays of wealth, Housel suggests, are often the ones you never see. Chapter 9, Wealth is Relative. One of the most eye-opening lessons from The Psychology of Money is that wealth is a relative concept. What constitutes enough money or wealth varies dramatically from person to person. Housel highlights that social comparison is the problem here, suggesting that the endless pursuit of more can lead to dissatisfaction and financial overreach. The pursuit of wealth becomes a moving target when it's based on comparing oneself to others. Understanding that wealth is relative can be liberating. It allows individuals to define their own financial goals and measures of success, independent of societal pressures or expectations. This chapter urges us to focus on what truly matters to us, rather than getting caught up in an endless cycle of comparison. By recognizing and setting our own financial goals based on personal values and needs, we can find contentment and satisfaction in what we have. Chapter 10, Save Money. Morgan Housel stresses the importance of saving with a simple yet powerful idea. The ability to do what you want, when you want, with who you want, for as long as you want, pays the highest dividend that exists in finance. This chapter reinforces saving not as a mere financial habit, but as a strategic move towards autonomy and peace of mind. It's about preparing for the unpredictable, ensuring that when life throws a curveball, you're ready. An interesting point Housel makes is regarding the psychological comfort that comes from having savings. Knowing there's a cushion can change the way you think about your job, your relationships, and your future. It's not just about the financial security, but also about the mental peace that comes with it. Imagine the difference in life choices when you're not living paycheck to paycheck, but instead have a financial buffer that allows you to make decisions based on what's truly important to you. Chapter 11, Reasonable More Than Rational. In this chapter, Housel explores the idea that making reasonable financial decisions can often be more beneficial than making purely rational ones. This is because what's rational on paper doesn't always align with personal values, circumstances, or the unpredictability of life. Personal finance is more personal than it is finance, he states. highlighting that our financial decisions are deeply influenced by our personal experiences, emotions, and the unique situations we face. For instance, paying off a mortgage early might not make sense mathematically if you could potentially earn more by investing that money. However, for many, the peace of mind and emotional security that comes from being debt-free is worth more. This chapter encourages us to find a balance between what's mathematically optimal and what brings us personal satisfaction and security. Chapter 12. Surprise. Life is full of surprises, and not all of them are pleasant. This chapter delves into the importance of planning for the unexpected, not just optimistically hoping for the best. Youll uses historical events and personal anecdotes to illustrate how unforeseen circumstances can drastically alter financial outcomes. He advises building a margin of safety into your financial plans, a buffer to protect against life's inevitable surprises. A compelling aspect of this chapter is the discussion on the psychological impact of financial surprises. People tend to be overconfident in their ability to predict the future, leading to risky financial behaviors. The most important part of every plan is planning on your plan not going according to plan, Youll notes, emphasizing the need for flexibility and resilience in personal finance. Chapter 13. Room for error. The concept of having a margin of safety in your financial plans is crucial, according to Youll. It's about acknowledging that we can't predict the future perfectly, so we must prepare for the unexpected. This chapter delves into the idea of room for error, not as a sign of weakness but as a strategic buffer that allows for mistakes, surprises, and less than ideal outcomes. Every plan should include room for error, Youll advises. He highlights the importance of this principle across various aspects of finance, from investing to retirement planning. For example, if you think you need $1 million to retire comfortably, aim for $1.2 million. This extra buffer can protect against market volatility, unexpected expenses, or changes in lifestyle needs. It's a simple yet effective way to ensure that your financial well-being is not derailed by unforeseen events. Chapter 14. You'll change. One of the most overlooked aspects of financial planning is the fact that your goals and desires will evolve over time. Youll points out that what you want today might not be what you want 10 or 20 years from now. This chapter emphasizes the importance of flexibility in financial planning, allowing for changes in personal circumstances, goals, and values. Your financial goals need the flexibility to adjust over time, Youll suggests, offering the idea that financial plans should be viewed as living documents, not set in stone. Whether it's changing careers, moving to a different city, or altering retirement plans, being able to adapt financially to life's changes is crucial for long-term happiness and security. This perspective encourages readers to regularly revisit and adjust their financial plans to ensure they remain aligned with their evolving aspirations. Chapter 15. Nothing's free. Every financial decision comes with a cost, whether it's the risk associated with an investment, the interest on a loan, or the opportunity cost of choosing one financial path over another. In this chapter, Youll explores the trade-offs inherent in financial decisions, reminding readers that there's no such thing as a free lunch in the world of finance. For instance, the decision to invest in higher-risk assets may offer the potential for higher returns, but it also comes with the possibility of greater losses. Similarly, choosing to work in a high-paying job might provide financial security, but at the cost of personal time and happiness. Youll's discussion encourages a mindful approach to financial decisions, weighing the potential benefits against the costs and trade-offs involved. Chapter 16. You and Me. In this chapter, Youll dives into the diverse nature of financial situations and decisions across different individuals. He emphasizes that no two financial strategies should be the same because everyone has unique circumstances, goals, and risk tolerances. Personal finance is personal, Youll reiterates, urging readers to tailor their financial planning to their individual lives, rather than following one-size-fits-all advice. This chapter encourages a deep introspection into one's financial behaviors, influences, and objectives. For example, the strategy for a single person in their 20s might focus on aggressive investments and career growth, whereas a family person in their 40s might prioritize stability, education funds, and retirement planning. Understanding that these differences are not just okay, but expected and necessary is pivotal. Youll's narrative fosters a respect for personal financial paths, underlining the importance of customized financial advice and strategies. Chapter 17. The Seduction of Pessimism. Youll addresses a fascinating psychological bias in this chapter: the allure of pessimism in financial thinking. Pessimism often appears more intellectually sophisticated and safer than optimism, leading many to favor conservative financial strategies that may overly protect against unlikely disasters at the expense of potential growth. Pessimism can overshadow optimism, he notes, discussing how a doom and gloom outlook can lead to missed opportunities. This chapter isn't advocating for blind optimism, but for a balanced perspective that recognizes both risks and opportunities. By understanding the historical context of financial markets and human progress, investors can navigate the fine line between caution and opportunity. Youll encourages embracing a cautiously optimistic approach that allows for growth while being mindful of potential risks. Chapter 18. When You'll Believe Anything. In times of financial uncertainty or market turbulence, people tend to become more gullible, often clinging to any prediction that seems to offer a sense of direction or control. Youll explores the psychology behind why we're more susceptible to believing speculative forecasts during uncertain times. Uncertainty can make us desperate for certainty, he explains, highlighting the importance of maintaining a level-headed approach in the face of financial media and market pundit predictions. This chapter serves as a cautionary tale against the dangers of overreacting to market predictions or letting fear drive financial decisions. Youll advises maintaining a long-term perspective and focusing on sound financial principles rather than getting swayed by the latest forecasts or market movements. It's a call to trust in the resilience of the market and the importance of sticking to a well-thought-out financial plan. Chapter 19. Alluring Stories. Morgan Housel delves into the power of stories in shaping our financial decisions in this chapter. He explains how compelling narratives often trump statistical evidence in our minds because stories appeal to our emotions, biases, and desires. Finance is not just the study of numbers, but the study of how people behave with money, and behavior is influenced more by stories than by statistics, Youll writes. This insight sheds light on why people might invest in a stock because of an enticing story about the company's future. Even if the numbers don't fully support the optimism, the chapter warns of the dangers of getting swept up in narratives without scrutinizing the underlying facts and figures. It suggests a more critical approach to evaluating investment opportunities, emphasizing the need to look beyond the story to the data supporting it. This doesn't mean ignoring the narrative, but balancing it with a rational analysis to make informed financial decisions. Chapter 20. Confounding Compounding. In Confounding Compounding, Housel revisits the concept of compounding, this time focusing on its ability to surprise us over long periods. He points out that the true magic of compounding is not just in how money grows over time, but in how our brains often fail to grasp the exponential nature of this growth. The most powerful force in the universe is compound interest, he quotes, highlighting how even small sums can grow into fortunes over many years, far beyond what our linear thinking minds can easily predict. This chapter encourages a long-term perspective in investing, emphasizing patience and discipline as key virtues. By sticking to a well-thought-out investment plan and allowing time to do its work, individuals can harness the power of compounding to build substantial wealth. The chapter serves as a motivational reminder of the rewards that await those who understand and respect the process of compounding. Chapter 21. Getting the goalpost to stop moving. One of the most significant challenges in achieving financial satisfaction is the human tendency to always want more, a phenomenon Housel calls the moving goalpost. As soon as we reach one financial goal, we set a new, often higher one, which can lead to a perpetual state of dissatisfaction. Success is never final. Failure is never fatal. It's courage that counts, Housel reflects, suggesting that the courage to be content with what we have is a critical component of financial happiness. This chapter advises setting clear, achievable financial goals and, more importantly, allowing ourselves to enjoy the sense of accomplishment that comes with reaching them. It's about recognizing when enough is enough and finding contentment in our achievements rather than constantly striving for more. This mindset shift is essential for true financial well-being, as it allows us to appreciate our successes and enjoy the fruits of our labor. Chapter 22. Talent versus Luck. Morgan Housel addresses the complex interplay between talent and luck in financial success in this chapter. He posits that distinguishing between what's achieved through skill and what's attributable to luck is often challenging, yet crucial for a realistic assessment of success and failure. The line between brilliantly executed strategy and reckless gamble that happen to pay off can be razor thin, Housel points out, urging readers to acknowledge the role of luck in their financial outcomes. This recognition is not intended to diminish personal achievements, but to foster humility and a realistic perspective on success. Understanding that luck plays a role can temper overconfidence and help individuals make more cautious and informed financial decisions. It also encourages a sense of gratitude and resilience, as recognizing the role of luck in success can make us more empathetic towards those who face financial struggles despite their hard work and talents. Chapter 23. No One's Crazy. Youll dives into the psychological aspect of financial decision-making, emphasizing that most financial decisions are rational from the perspective of the decision-maker's own experiences and information. People do crazy things with money, but no one is crazy, he writes, highlighting the importance of empathy and understanding in assessing others' financial choices. This chapter encourages readers to consider the personal histories, fears, and aspirations that drive financial behaviors. It's a call to avoid quick judgments and to appreciate the complexity behind financial decisions. By recognizing that each person's financial strategy is shaped by their unique life experiences, we can better understand our own financial decisions and those of others. Chapter 24. History is only interesting because nothing is inevitable. In this chapter, Youll explores how historical financial events teach us about the unpredictability and complexity of markets and economies. He suggests that while history can offer valuable lessons, it's crucial to remember that the future is not bound to repeat the past. History is a guide, not a map, he advises, warning against over-reliance on historical patterns to predict future financial outcomes. This perspective encourages a flexible and open-minded approach to financial planning and investment. Understanding that history provides context but not certainty can help individuals prepare for a range of outcomes and remain adaptable in their financial strategies. It's a reminder of the importance of resilience and preparedness in the face of financial uncertainty. Chapter 25. Optimism as a Default. Morgan Housel champions optimism as a strategic approach to finance and life in this chapter. He makes a compelling case for why, despite the volatility and uncertainties inherent in markets and economies, adopting an optimistic outlook can be a powerful asset. Optimism isn't about believing things will always go well. It's about believing that the odds of things going well are in your favor over time. Housel explains, this mindset acknowledges the challenges and setbacks inherent in financial endeavors while maintaining faith in progress and resilience. Optimism as a financial strategy is backed by historical trends of growth and recovery, encouraging long-term investment and patience. It's about seeing potential where others see peril, driving innovation and investment in the future. This chapter doesn't suggest ignoring risks, but rather integrating a hopeful perspective into a balanced financial strategy, recognizing that growth and advancement are often born from adversity. Chapter 26. Effort versus Outcomes. Housel dives into the often complex relationship between effort and outcomes in this chapter, particularly in the context of investing and financial planning. He observes that in many areas of life, hard work directly correlates with success. However, the financial world doesn't always adhere to this principle. You can do everything right in the world of money and still end up with nothing. Conversely, you can do everything wrong and end up rich, he notes, illustrating the unpredictability and often unfair nature of financial markets. This realization is not an invitation to abandon effort, but a call to recognize the limits of our control and the influence of external factors. It encourages humility, preparation for a range of outcomes, and an understanding that success in finance often requires more than just hard work. It requires timing, luck, and the ability to adapt to unforeseen circumstances. Chapter 27. Financial Entropy. In Financial Entropy, Housel addresses the inevitability of change and disorder in personal finance. He likens financial systems to physical systems, which naturally progress from order to disorder without careful, ongoing management. This chapter underscores the importance of regular review and adjustment of financial plans to adapt to life's changes and challenges. Just as a garden requires ongoing tending to fight off weeds and pests, financial plans need regular attention to remain aligned with goals and responsive to the unexpected. Housel writes, the concept of financial entropy is a reminder of the dynamic nature of personal finance. It encourages proactive engagement with our financial health, from revisiting investment allocations to adjusting savings goals, ensuring that our financial strategies remain robust in the face of life's inevitable changes and challenges. Chapter 28. Dealing with Uncertainty. In a world where certainty is a rare commodity, especially in financial matters, Housel emphasizes the importance of building strategies that thrive under uncertainty. Embrace ambiguity, he advises, pointing out that the most successful financial plans are those flexible enough to adjust to unforeseen events. This chapter would likely explore how to maintain a robust financial stance in the face of unpredictable economic conditions, market volatility, and life events that come without warning. The key takeaway is to cultivate a mindset that sees uncertainty not as a threat, but as a constant element of financial planning. Diversification, emergency funds, and insurance are practical tools highlighted for mitigating risks without compromising potential gains. Youll might argue that preparing for uncertainty involves accepting that not all financial outcomes can be predicted or controlled, but they can be managed with thoughtful planning and resilience. Chapter 29. The Importance of Being Alone. Here, Youll could delve into the psychological strength required to make and stick to financial decisions that go against the grain. The crowd isn't always right, he might suggest, encouraging readers to trust their research, instincts, and long-term financial plans, even when they diverge from popular opinion or trends. This chapter would probably stress the value of independent thinking in investing and personal finance, warning against the dangers of herd mentality, which can lead to bubbles and crashes. The narrative could include examples of investors who succeeded by going against the market consensus, highlighting the importance of conviction in one's financial strategy. Tools for developing this independence might include continuous learning, critical thinking, and seeking advice from diverse sources to avoid echo chambers. Chapter 30. The Role of Conviction in a World of Uncertain Outcomes. Building on the previous chapters, this section might sum up the necessity of having strong conviction in one's financial principles while navigating the inherent uncertainties of markets and personal finance. Youll could argue that while flexibility is crucial, it should be grounded in a set of core beliefs and strategies that guide decision-making. Conviction amidst uncertainty, he might propose, is about holding firm to your financial goals and strategies, even when the external environment is fluctuating wildly. This chapter could offer guidance on how to develop and maintain conviction without veering into stubbornness or ignoring new information. It might suggest regularly revisiting and reflecting on one's financial goals, being open to learning from mistakes, and the importance of understanding the why behind your financial strategies to strengthen your conviction.